stand globalist.
Okay, sounds fair.
That's just the way I feel. And when I look at, Desert Storm, and I look at all the things that occurred during his presidency, he's just, he's not somebody that I want to give high praises for.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. Thanks for calling.
And I expect to see that and hear that a lot from conservative Republicans. I'm having a hard time giving him high praises. I myself in that same boat as the man and what he did in that office. Again, I just say we have to remember that a leader of our nation that helped us get to where we are today has passed, and we have got to
I won't feel that way at Obama's funeral if I'm around.
And this is America. You can feel any way you want.
I'm not comparing to George H.W. Bush to Obama. Not at all. Right. Don't make that mistake. I'm just saying that's the way you have the right just because he was a president.
You have the right to feel the way you will feel.
All right.
We both serve the nation, so you know where I'm coming from.
Let's see what Joe wants to say. Joe, how you doing?
I pretty much agree with all of your sentiments.
Oh, good. Well, thanks for calling. Talk to you later.
Call my show. I'll actually talk to you, Joe.
More of a pass than I did McCain, though. I will say that in his defense. But your suspicions about the CIA and the whole Kuwait thing, I think there is something to that there. But I was calling because Walberg will be on. And is this not the Drift radio show? And is not the point of the Drift radio show to discuss everything in the Daily Drift because it's
the news you need
to know?
So
exclamation point.
Always almost always on topic because it's a topic from the Daily Drift because it's
the news you need to know. Yeah, we went over that already. Come on, Joe, get on with it.
But there's a couple of things regarding the government shutdown in the Daily Drift, and obviously we need to talk to Walberg about that. And I am definitely all for government shutdowns when it's for the right reasons. For if anybody might, try to call me a hypocrite like they would on Facebook. I opposed the Schumer shutdown because it was about putting illegals above American citizens. I am all for Trump shutting down the government if he doesn't get the wall funding and we get some cuts in spending.
Okay.
If the Democrats so choose to shut off the government, what I sit there and say is that gives us a perfect picture of what parts of the government we can go without.
The House of Representatives.
We can start there. No, because only the essential parts stay open. We start finding out actually what they could get rid of. What fat they can get rid of.
How about UN spending? Money to support the UN.
Yeah, we could cut that out.
Yeah, let's cut the UN.
One of my favorite cartoons is a Dilbert cartoon, and there's an impending snowstorm, and the pointy-haired boss makes an announcement over the PA, says, due to the impending snowstorm, all non-essential employees may leave work early. And then he goes upstairs and he's looking out the window and taking names of who's walking out to their cars.
Yep.
All the non-essentials. Yep.
That's perfect. But no greater favor to this country could be done is to have a 90-day shutdown, because the longer it goes on, the more people wake up to the lie of government being so essential, and they see that their checks keep going, their jobs keep occurring, the planet keeps rotating.
I say shut down EPA first, right? And the Mueller investigation? That's non-essential. Shut down the Mueller investigation.
But how about the Department of Education?
Oh, man, we can get rid of that. Yeah.
National Endowment of the Arts?
Yeah. Well, how about this? How do you feel about this, shutting down the national parks? There are people that put up barricades on the last one. Is that essential or not? I say it is.
It is if I'm headed there.
No, I say it is because
Obama pulled that as a stunt. The war memorials.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
And here's why I say this is essential, is because men and women died for those memorials in this country, and the families should have the right to go there and pay tribute to their loved ones.
That's right. Hey, anything else, Joe?
Well, just because a park it doesn't have a full staff doesn't mean it should be necessarily closed down. It's just you're in those parks necessarily at your own risk then. What's wrong with that?
It's often the case anyhow, right? It's often the case anyhow. You're walking the Appalachian Trail, you're on your own.
Yeah. But let's get real here. If there's a government shutdown, the essential services are going to keep going. I'm guessing even the national parks will stay open.
Well, the Army's going to stay up. The Navy's not going to. The subservice isn't going to surface.
Social Security's still going to go out.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Joe? Before I get on to Gary from Hazel Park.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
All right. Great. Talk to you later.
See you, Joe.
So let's talk to Gary from Hazel Park. He wants to talk about George H.W. Bush.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Gary.
Hello, Gary.
Hey, when I was a boy, when I was a child, I used to think that presidents meant something. Then I grew up.
They had presidents
they were
back
just
then?
a bunch of scum.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I walked over you. I'm sorry. Say that again.
When I was a child, when I was young, I used to think presidents were something special. And then I grew up and I realized they're just a bunch of men, just like everybody else, who have their faults. And they have more faults than they have, how shall we say, attributes. These are the people that are responsible for how we are today as a nation, because each and every one of them failed in their job, because our nation is under siege right now for economics, for the border, the China, and stealing all the technical information. I mean, we're in a world of hurt, and it is the administrations of past that are responsible for it.
George Washington. John Adams. Let's see now. Abraham Lincoln. Now, there are people who argue about Abraham Lincoln. I understand that.
You got to go all the way up to at least Eisenhower before what I'm saying is what I'm talking about.
Okay, I just want to be clear. It's not necessarily the office. It's the people in the office.
Being a historian, I go back, and I'm going back to before FDR even up to Teddy Roosevelt is where our nation started to fall apart with the presidency. But we still have to remember is that in that seat, they were people that were elected by the people to sit in that office and seat. Now, Gary, I know that you served the military, and so did Joe. Did you serve the military?
Yeah. No, I was in the Air Force.
You were so we got 3 veterans and an Air Force member. Yeah. I went in under Bill Clinton. And I had a chance to, I want to say the unfortunate chance to where I had to meet the president in uniform. And, I saluted him. I did not like the man. I couldn't wait. As a matter of fact, it was coming up to where they were going to swear in Reagan. I was looking forward to that day. But I still had to salute him. And I was saluting the office. Yeah.
Yep. And I, by the way, flew on Nixon's helicopter, Marine Helicopter 1. Yeah, I did.
Was he with you?
No, he wasn't.
Then it wasn't Marine 1.
That's true. But it was painted just like it and had the same staff.
Well, getting back to Gary's statement is I think presidents are just one part of 3 branches of government, the executive branch. And I think you were mentioning the past presidents who were pretty good presidents and had great administrations. But the problem today is, we'll say, under the Trump administration, you've got the legislative branch and part of the judicial branch trying to torpedo what he's trying to do, putting America first policy. And I think we could all agree on that.
Well, the one thing our founding fathers knew is that men are flawed. In nature, they're flawed, which is why they have checks and balances, why they gave us the government they gave us.
That's why we have a Redeemer, by the way. I think I should point that out to you. I know you're not a Pentecostal, so you may not be aware of that.
Oh, I'm very much aware of it. I just don't have to confuse myself knowing it.
Okay. Whoa.
If our federal government had been doing their job correctly, we would be better off today than you guys can imagine.
Absolutely.
We'd be in the stratosphere. We'd be bionic. We would be doing it, but we're not. We're in the middle of personal strifes, party versus party, state versus state, and we're coming apart at the seams. And that still falls on the politicians and the head politicians, the president.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling in, Gary. Appreciate it. Always good point of view. And the rest of you, we'll see you after the break. Please stay tuned. We're going to have Representative Tim Walberg call in.
People are always on the move. driving to work, hauling the kids to practice. How do they keep up to date? They listen to Wham Talk 1600 just like you. If you're a business owner, your message can reach these people wherever their travels take them. People tune to Wham Radio for intelligent conversation with hosts like Joe Pags, Glenn Beck, Fayron X, and Dana Lesh. And they'll stay tuned for your message as well. Call 734-971-1600 today and advertise your business on Wham Talk 1600 and whamradio.com.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Karen McHugh, remembering George H.W. Bush as a man of grace and dignity.
Brad Blakeman, former deputy assistant to President George W. Bush, described to Fox News his graciousness to incoming President Bill Clinton after he had lost a tough election.
Have an orderly transition and to support the new president and to make sure that every opportunity he had was for success.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland reporting the nation's 41st president died last night in Houston. He was 94. The passing of Mr. Bush has slightly altered plans for the current chief exec, who's at the G20 summit.
We were going to have a very big press conference, and out of respect for President Bush, we've canceled it here, and we'll have it back in Washington at some time in the near future, sometime after the funeral service.
President Trump in Buenos Aires designated Wednesday, December 5th, a national day of mourning. This is Fox News.
When one of your major home appliances stops working, you want someone with experience to fix it. Bill and Joe Henderson at MasterTech have been taking care of people in Ann Arbor and the surrounding communities since 1978. At MasterTech Appliance, they service nearly every appliance make and model. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, freezers, dishwashers, ranges, air conditioners, and more. MasterTech handles both residential and commercial work and always solves the problem. Their technicians are friendly, knowledgeable, and on time. Call 734-662-0641. That's 734-662-0641 or toll free 800-663-0331. You can also visit MasterTechAppliance.com online. MasterTech, Federal Boulevard, 1 block off Stadium near the Ann Arbor Post Office. Service hours daily, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. MasterTech Appliance, technicians who care. Servicing appliances throughout Washtenaw, Livingston, and Western Wayne County.
Your bridge to recovery and wellness is WellBridge. WellBridge is redefining the rehabilitation and nursing care experience with the most amazing care facilities you've ever seen. All WellBridge locations offer a resort-like atmosphere, and their driving goal is to provide each guest with an epic experience. Here's former patient Evelyn Danielson from Brighton.
It was excellent. It wasn't only just the physical part of it, doing your exercises with them. It was the RNs, even down to the kitchen people that came in and said, "What can we fix you? What do you like? We'll try to do it for you." And everything with a smile. I couldn't get over. I would heartily recommend WellBridge.
For rehabilitation and nursing care, ask for something epic. Ask for WellBridge. In Brighton, Fenton, Novi, and Pinckney. Now looking for talented nurses and certified nurse assistants to join their growing team, WellBridge invites everyone to learn more about them at thewellbridgegroup.com. WellBridge, your bridge to recovery and wellness starts here.
Well, welcome back to The Drift. I love that music. Absolutely love that music. Peter Gunn. Is that Henry Mancini? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir, Bob. So, we are back. I'm back in studio with Pastor Rick and with Alex Wassell. And I'm Ed Bonderenka. And the phone number is 734-822-1600. Almost gave out my number.
I know, I guess not. I'm really excited about Congressman Walberg calling in.
Yep, and he might be. I'm jiggling the phone here. And he's on line one. Before we continue, I want to say, honey, I saw your voicemail and your calls. I got the information. Thank you. That's to my wife.
The Congressman and I are both alumni from the same school.
Which prison reformatory was that?
Moody.
Oh, really?
Theological Institute, right?
Yes. I think he went in Chicago, and I went to the seminary here in Michigan.
Well, that I knew. I remembered, yes. I don't think much, how do I put that? I don't often think of people. It's not that I don't think much of people who go to the one here in Southeast Michigan, but I always think of Moody in Chicago when I think of Moody, yeah. So, having said that, before we bring on Tim Walberg, Tim,